All right, hello everybody. We're going to go ahead and talk about the last target, which is 2C, which is called solve rational equations. Okay, so you should be taking notes while this occurs. So to solve rational equations, what you're going to use is cross multiplication. Okay, now what's the reason why you can use cross multiplication? Because when you have two fractions that are equal to each other, it is quicker to cross multiply in order to solve. And you'll see why. So our first example is we have x over 6 equal to x minus 8 all over negative 2. Okay, so these two rationals are equal to each other. Okay, so what I can do to solve then is use cross multiplication. So what this means is I can multiply x times negative 2, okay, which is negative 2x. And then I am going to multiply 6 by x minus 8. Well, once I multiply my first numerator and denominator, I would put my equal sign. And then I need to multiply 6 by the quantity of x minus 8. Because there are multiple terms in the numerator, you have to use parentheses. Okay, so that is the step. And in theory, I could actually use parentheses there, right? Because parentheses means to multiply. So now let's simplify. This gives me negative 2x equals, now I distribute 6 times x minus 6 times 8. And now I just solve. Remember when you're solving, you get x's to one side, numbers to the other, and you just keep going. So I need to move the 6x by subtracting. This gives me negative 8x equals negative 48. Now how do I solve this? Well, I divide by negative 8, and so x is 6. So once we get to this step, you're just going to solve, right? So distribute. If you can combine like terms, do that, and so forth. Okay, so that's our first example. Now, example number 2. Okay, you could always pause the video if you needed more time on that example. All right, example number 2. We have x plus 1 over 12 is equal to x minus 2 over 10. Okay, and the goal is that we want these two fractions equal to each other. Okay, so we need to find the value of x to keep them balanced. Okay, so because I have a fraction equal to a fraction, I could go ahead and cross multiply. So I'm going to multiply x plus 1 by 10. Okay, so how do I show that? Well, x plus 1 is a quantity, so I'm going to put it in parentheses, and then you usually put the 10 on the outside. Okay, you can put it on the right side. It also means the same thing. Equals, now I need to cross multiply between these two. So I have 12 times x minus 2. And there's my setup. So notice, 10 times x plus 1, 12 times x minus 2. Now I have parentheses, so I distribute 10 times x, 10 times 1. Equals, now I multiply by 12. 12 times x minus 12 times 2. Okay? So again, I use the distributive property. Now the next idea is I need to move the variables to the left. So to move the 12x, I subtract 12x. I get negative 2x plus 10 equals negative 24. And now I just keep going. I subtract 10 to both sides. Divide by negative 2. And so I get my answer of 17. And so once you're able to cross multiply, now you're just using your solving skills to figure out the rest. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to go on to Go Formative, and you are going to practice 4 problems. Okay, you're just going to type in the answer, and I'll tell you if you got it right or not.